Hello, I'm Earl, and welcome to Speaking of Everything. For the first time on Speaking of Everything, I have current Minister of Justice, Minister Lyndon Lewis. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, Earl. How are you doing?
I'm great. Great to have you in the program. I knew you had a tight schedule, just got off the aircraft and
Straight into the studio.
right. So I appreciate that very much. I called you yesterday, so it was a short notice. How's it been? You one of the largest vote getters in terms of party, and your party, you received the most votes. You ran on the Now party list. Were you surprised the amount of votes you got?
Well, I believe I would have done well. I didn't believe I would have done so well. So I must thank the people of St. Martin, especially the electorate, the 446 voters, because it was 447. However, it went down by one vote in the recount.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know where that fellow went, but he left with it. And I am grateful. I am grateful that the people have seen the work that I've been executing and made me their choice, their voice on the day of election.
So when you look at what's happening right now, because there's a coalition,
Yes.
that your party is currently a member of that coalition, but there's a new coalition and you are not a part of that one.
Well, I've heard a lot of things, okay, but it's unfortunate, and I will still reiterate, the people have voted for a parliament, but they have reinforced our coalition by giving us, how you would say, we got a lot of votes, when I say across the board, between the four parties. Even though the Now party has lost a seat, within the coalition, we have gained a seat. Because we were 8, and now we became 9. I wasn't in any discussions. With all respect, I chose to reach out to now former Prime Minister Luc Marcelino to see on what are his views. I sat with other coalition partners and we just had discussions because I would like to know, with all respect, where we were going. I learned that most likely it is because of my party leader, okay? That is what I was being told about his behavior, his character, and how he behaved as if he was in opposition. And I'm to say, we can put everything in all kinds of scenarios together. But at the end of the day, I think it would have been also respectable that he was reached out to and had a conversation with him if they so wanted to continue. Because I can recall, sometimes when they don't get MP Emmanuel, they would call me. And let's not say they, I would say the Prime Minister would call me and would ask me, how is Chris doing? Is he all right? Is he still with us? We'll know what's going on. However, he doesn't have to do so anymore because the coalition with the 3 parties has gained a extra seat without the Now party. So it's like you use and abuse someone and then later on you don't need them anymore. That's how I see it. But however, I am very happy to the fact that I am elected. Because one would say, oh, you're in opposition, you can't do much. Oh, that ain't true. That is not true. When you're being elected, you are one of the individuals that have a voice on behalf of the vast majority, including, because you'll have people for you, and you'll have people that is not for you. So I see it that I reached out to the incoming Minister of Justice, the candidate minister this morning. I sent her a message and told her congratulations. And basically I shared the sentiments that, of course, I am open and willing to have that those discussions or advice if needed. And when I land, I just saw her message as well. This did not happen with the transition between me and the former minister. We must understand that in politics, it is generally for the best interest of the country. So it doesn't matter. And I already knew that the position is a temporary one. I didn't come here to stay. I came here to make a difference in the lives of my people. And I have made a difference in the short stint as being Minister of Justice and also Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport. We must always remember that I had 2 portfolios. I still have 2 portfolios, as a matter of fact. And I will continue to work and do my due diligence until the very last day. And in transition as an MP, guess what? I don't have 2 portfolios. I have 7. As a member of parliament, we are supposed to hold government accountable. So when someone comes and they tell me, listen, I have a situation within VROMI, I will do my due diligence, I will study their files, with respect, I will contact the Ministry of VROMI, by extension the minister. And with that said, we should be able to come on common grounds on how we're going to assist that person, or if it's a class situation, or if it's on a vast, if it's something that's going to touch the entire country. My job is to make sure that they are doing their jobs. So I don't see it as a setback. It's only a setback for the 700 and something employees at Justice or the employees at Education. But it is a way forward that I can touch more lives in this country as a future member of parliament. So on the 20th of this month, we should be taking the oath of office. And I will have basically 3 hats at that time would be a member of parliament, Minister of Justice, and also acting Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport.
So you'll have that for the next 3 months, something like that?
Basically for during the screening time. And I will continue working.
So you're saying that the coalition that you're part of now, because that coalition still exists, gave reasons for your party leader behavior.
That is what I was told by the Prime Minister.
Okay. So you now receive more votes than your party leader.
Yes, I did.
And a lot of people wonder what is Mr. Lewis going to do? Is he going to remain now, or is he going to become an independent member of parliament?
Well, also during the talks, I learned, like if it is so or not, but I heard it from different individuals, even my colleagues within the Justice Ministry, that they have spoken. The Prime Minister was doing his round still. He's going at a police station, and he asked some immigration officers what do they need or they want at the Simpson Bay police station. And they said, we would like to have our Minister of Justice back. And what he told them is that he should declare himself independent.
But that's jumping ship.
That's correct. Many of them are accustomed of doing that, of jumping ship. Okay? I have switched parties based on ideals, based on my way going forward for my country. But when you're an elected official, you should tread carefully, in the sense that people need to, the loyalty of the people lies with you. Some people would vote for you because of a political party you're on. Some people will vote basically because of who you are. I know a lot of people don't vote for me because of the political platform, but it's a new political party. And it has, with respect, the name alone resonates with me, Nation, Opportunity, Wealth. This is what I think every individual on that list should resonate with them, that listen, we want to build our nation and give our people opportunity to have something extra in their pocket. I don't see anything wrong with the political party, but of course, as a politician, we should all want to reflect. Each individual on the list, including myself, because I should want to get enough votes that across the table, say we get 1 seat, 2 seats, 3 seats, because in an election, we should want a majority. So each political figure on that party should want to win outright. All right? None of us in this country at this present moment, other than the Prime Minister, have gained his own seat. So collectively, if I did not have the other individuals on the list, I also would not have a seat if I was a lone ranger running alone. So I don't see it any reason right now. I have not sat down because I've been moving since election, dealing with some personal matters with my family. sat down with my political leader to discuss our way forward. I've spoken to the president and tell her, yes, we need to have this conversation, the president of the party, so that we can know how we are going to build it for the future. And again, if I have to leave the party, it will be only because their ideals has changed when it comes to the people of this country. Remember, I'm a servant. I'm a servant to this country, Mr. Gibbs. So therefore, I have to go based on what the people who elected me, because I do not know the individuals. So everyone that sounds, someone will say, yeah, but you get 800 messages, but you only get 400 and something votes. Or you get 13 or 1400 messages, but you only get 400 and something votes. Everyone can come out and vote for me. That's the reason why I made mention before. I do not see political colors after an election. I should be able to have any conversation with opposition or conversations with the leading parties in order for us to move St. Martin forward. My goal is solely to give the people the best service that they should get. As a young individual in this country, like I said, in Parliament, there's a lot more things I can do. And I would like to also take care of the elderly. Okay, in the sense, I do not believe that senior citizens should be paying any taxes. So I have ideas on how, because one would say, how you would do that, Mr. Lewis? Then we have to see how we're going to bring incentives in order to make money, in order to give relief. It's the same thing with GB. It's the same thing with anything. I have seen older people, some of them already passed away, because I have a passion for the elderly. And I see how some of them suffered. How some of them still have to do their own transactions at the bank. So by having conversations not only with my political party, but with other political parties across the board, meaning I have to lobby with my colleagues. Hence the reason I'm not going to Parliament, because I am not part of the coalition and be bashing people. No, I don't have time for that. Our work should be consistent in the upkeep and the growth of St. Martin economically. We have to take care of our own first before we take care of others.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, because I've been doing this for a long time, and I haven't heard any politicians lately say that. So I'll hold you to that. The reason why I say I'll hold you to that is because I've had a lot of new politicians. I've said privately to them, I said, you will change. And they said, oh, no, I won't change. They became member of parliament, they became a minister, and let me tell you, they changed like day to night. so I will hold you to that one, because I think it's important what you said there a while ago, and a lot of people in St. Martin feel the same way. The elderly are neglected, forgotten, and abused by the system. It's really harsh on them. They've lived their life, built this country, and they reach the age where the government turns against them. And that shouldn't be.
Oral, I've also watched it in this direction, where when I watched the 20 polling stations, if you go back on the list and you watch the 20 polling stations with my name on it, one polling station I didn't get votes. And do you know where that was?
Point Blanche?
No, the senior citizen. Not Point Blanche, man. At least I get 2 there this time. Okay. It's the senior citizen home. It's not that I don't visit them. It's just that we don't invest in them. And it's like, once you go on pension, you're supposed to live the best life ever until you're dead. You understand? You're supposed to be worrying about this. We should cater more to them. And I've been saying it. I've traveled a lot. And one of my ideas, I can say publicly, and anyone can take my idea and move on with it, because I don't want to die with my idea. Today I have life. Maybe when I walk out here, I'm dead. So maybe somebody can take it over. When I go to St. Thomas through Tortola, when I reach to Tortola and I tell them I'm going to St. Thomas on transfer, they say, well, you have to pay $10 environmental tax because you're not staying in Tortola. When I come back from St. Thomas, I have to pay that same $10 because I'm transferring out. That's $20. Imagine the thousands of people that pass through St. Martin's Airport to go to St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla, St. Bart's, Sabre, Stacia, we charge a $10 fee. We may charge a $5 fee. That money we can use tomorrow to help in the pension scheme. That money tomorrow we could help even the social development part of VSR. Also for parents, for those that are in need. I'm telling you, out of my own salary, from since I've been a police officer since 17 years ago, I've always helped single mothers. I've always helped single mothers with their kids for the main reason. So this is way before politics. Why? Because my mom was a single mother. I know people that have helped my mom as well, give her little monies, to help put with her salary in order to take care of her kids. So that I started to do as well, because when you give, you get back. And I'm a blessed individual. I've been through a lot politically. I've been through a lot personally. But when I realized once you continue to do good, it comes back. So on the scale now, as a political figure, a young political figure in this country, I basically is telling, that's why I say if you have 7 of me in government, 15 of me in parliament, we would be good, because my heart and my mind is in the right place for my country. Now it is to see who's going to play politics when I come up with whatever proposals or whatever initiatives for this country. And I'm saying, if it is voted down, the people have to remember that I have tried my best to push things forward for St. Martin.
Well, if it's good, I'll tell you one thing, we'll be there with you for sure. Anything that's good for St. Martin, we support. And I said, because me and this company, I've spent my lifetime fighting for St. Martin. I've been very disappointed in the political leadership of this island, because too often they complain about things and they never get nothing done, and it's about time. So I hope that they'll support you, and I hope the others will come up with similar ideas to go on the floor of Parliament and amend laws and introduce new laws. All right?
Well, I can say since the results of the election, some other young politicians who are elected, who are part of the coalition, have approached me. We have caucused, we have sat down, because it is not about who is in opposition. It's not about who's part of a coalition. It is 15 members of parliament.
Right.
Yes, you need your majority to help you pass your agenda, but the opposition members as well should do their job, should work. Not say, oh, I'm in opposition, I ain't gonna get a vote anyway. Our job is to lobby. Our job is to find cohesion within each other. And when you present whatever law, when you present whatever initiative or motion, the people of St. Martin, you have to be transparent with, because that's the platform where the people would know that you're working. Okay, I have another initiative that I would like to do. I would like to build a foundation. In building that foundation, I don't know what the name I will give it as yet, but it's like a give back foundation. We need to start touching the lives of people, especially in the poorest sectors of this island. Okay, come up also with beautification projects when it comes to Dutch Quarter. Okay, I'm a resident of Dutch Quarter as well. So therefore, I would like to finally see a proper upkeep. I would like to finally see a proper cultural center where, because I was part of those cultural centers as a child, where I learned how to even do crochet. We have simply no type of activities at this moment for the youth. Out of my own time, I have been, a speaker, motivational speaker for many schools on the island, okay? Also as keynote speaker to motivate students that, listen, if I reach here, you can reach here too. My job is to stimulate the youth to reach into a position in society that they also can give back. My job is to also, that's why we also have an initiative. We have the law that is there for higher education at this time, where we can promote our students staying here, getting the proper degrees here, that they can stay here and make their money in this country and also give back to St. Martin. Not that we have students who are leaving and tomorrow when they want a job, we are telling them they're overqualified, or we simply don't have nothing for them. This young man in front of you, Mr. Gibbs, is going to do his utmost best, especially when it comes to our business sectors, because I've already started to approach a few business persons already. You have to be bold. You have to be brave and say, listen, this is what I want for St. Martin. What do you think about it? Because remember, in this political system that we have in St. Martin, a lot of business people are part of it. They are the ones silently behind, watching in. So therefore, I'm going to tell you, what can you offer St. Martin? What can you do for the youth? What can you do for the elderly? I can't do it on my own. I need to have a togetherness. I need to have that partnership with different stakeholders in order for us to get the project. It's not my project. It may be an initiative that came from me, but it's not my project. The project is for St. Martin.
Okay. I mean, just a reminder that in case you just joined us, this is Speaking of Other Things. I'm Earl Gibbs here with the current Minister of Justice and MP-elect. He's Mr. Lewis, and he will be taking office as MP soon, but still remaining as Minister of Justice and Education for another
it could be
60,
another
90 days.
Yes. That is how our system works, and all those things can change.
Right.
All those things can change that. When you see, for example, in England, when there's an election,
it's right away.
They have a prime minister.
The next day.
It's all up to us to stop. I don't want to use any kind of wild word. It's up to us to work.
But do you like that system where the next day?
Yes, the people have spoken, form your government, work continues.
Yeah.
This thing here with we're screening and no, there's too much of things, because a lot of people take, when, for example, I'm going into opposition, I don't feel away. But there are individuals, like last election, they felt away. And they did a lot of things in office to benefit themselves, to push their agenda.
So the last few days, they're just...
Yeah, so we need, once there's an election called, if you want me out of office, that's your business. But this individual here will continue to work on the agenda of the people.
But let me ask you this, because you say you're a police officer for what, 16, 17 years?
Yes.
And so going in as Minister of Justice, what surprised you most about the ministry?
What surprised me most is the backlog of work, because I didn't learn the organization because of being police. That's just one division under the minister, the department right. Under the Minister of Justice. But because I also gave back as a union representative, as Vice President of ABVO, it gave me a broad base to understand the entirety of the ministry across the table from the minister. Because I've sat with 99% of the former ministers. I never sat with Duran, but all the other ministers from Duncan up until Miss Richardson, I've sat with. Okay, Duran I think was the only one I never sat with. And when I went in there, for example, you're gonna find over a backlog of 2,000 residence permits to grant or not to grant.
That many?
Yes. I have the statistics. 900 and something here at this department, 900 and something, 600 and something here at this department, this 200 and something in the minister's queue.
Did you find out why that backlog was so large?
Management. It's all about proper management. We had people in positions, they were removed, and no one was placed back there. For example, one of the crucial positions at the immigration department is the head of admissions. The former head of admissions was released of her duties years now. Until to date, we do not have a head of admissions to properly coordinate and delegate. Minister of Justice or any minister, we execute. But I am grateful for the team that I've gotten in my cabinet and the ministry itself that gave me the opportunity to work and also listened. There are some individuals who would do things behind your back to incriminate you. It is very sad. This is the business that you're in. But you always have to be on your, make sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. But I can tell you, my team, the ministry, I'm telling you, from every single department has given me the respect, the majority. They allowed me to work, and also they listened to my directives as how we're going to move forward. I just landed, Mr. Gibbs. Protocol picked me up at the airport, and I was just in the vehicle sitting down until he checked my passport. I was down on my phone, and I look up. There were two immigration officers at the door of the car, and they made a joke. They said, no, it don't work like this. They said, we just came here to tell you thank you for the service that you have given to us. Thank you, Minister. And these are individuals that I worked with, that I went to school with as an immigration officer in Curacao. So that the humility and the humbleness that they respect, that this man became our boss, and he came here to work for us. I didn't came to be a boss. I consider everyone still my colleagues, because as I said, it's a temporary job. We should never behave as a minister or a parliamentarian that we're going to be here forever. So we are here to make a difference and to make it now.
What about the Phillipsburg police station? Are you satisfied with the condition of that station?
No, I'm not. I'm not satisfied with the upkeep of the station itself. I'm not satisfied with the material. I can tell you, out of my own pocket again, I visited the station, and two officers told me, Minister, look at my shoes. And I can recall before becoming minister, colleagues were telling me about the uniform condition, etc. You know what I did? I had money on me that day. I went straight into town at Milano's, whatever the name of the store is with the shoe. And I bought those two officers their shoe. I called them and tell them go and pick up the size shoe there. This is the type of person that you have. The red tape that you have to go through in government just to even buy a staple machine is ridiculous.
Shouldn't that be issued by the department?
It should be issued by yes. But we don't have money, or we owe this one, or we owe that one. I mean, government is the worst institution that I have seen that owes people in this country. Even for toner. Sometimes you don't have toner. I bought my own laptop, my extra laptop I bought to do government work. I buy a whole printer at home to do government work. I pay over $400 for toner because the work doesn't stop.
Yeah.
The Minister of Justice is the only minister that will get a call at night and say, Minister, we need you, while other ministers are sleeping. The Minister of Justice also signs, documents physically, and still has to sign them digitally as well. So when do you get time to do this?
Right.
You do it on your own time. You become the ownership of the ministry.
Well, I'll tell you what, I have to go to a quick break, all right?
Yes.
In case you just joined us, this is Speaking of Everything. I'm here with the current Minister of Justice and MP-elect Sir Lewis, and when we come back, you'll hear more from Mr. Lewis right here on Speaking of Everything on YouTube, Facebook, and on Hot 99.9 FM radio. My guest here on Speaking of Everything is Mr. Lewis. He is currently the Minister of Justice and Education. And, you know, Minister, I listened to you. How old are you?
I'm 37.
So, I had another MP the other day. I said to him, how old are you? And he told me his age. And I made a joke with him because I had a politician some time ago, long time ago, asked me his age. He said, no, I can't give my age. But he went on to be Prime Minister, so, you know, at least you're comfortable giving your age. So,
yes.
So you're 37 years old, right?
I'm 37, yes.
Yeah. So you understand the condition and the plight of young people also.
Yes.
You know, when you look at Simran today, you spoke earlier about the elderly, but there's another group, young people. And I think a lot of young people written off, taken for granted. There's no care at all about them. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I see it.
No, but that's why I mentioned also with assisting single parents, with the upkeep of neighborhoods such as Dutch Quarter, talking about the cultural centers, which is the community centers basically, that you don't just have a building there, that you just don't have a community council. What is coming out of these community councils? Okay, I was never part of a community council, but now that I'm going to be a member of parliament, my job is also to contact every community council within St. Martin to find out what they are doing and what we can do for the betterment of that particular district.
Yeah.
Again, one would say, oh, you're doing it because of politics. It is politics. Politics is supposed to be something good for the people, not something nasty for the people. So therefore, if one is elected and they don't do it, what are you there for? My job is to make sure. I just visited a lady on the French side the other day. Beautiful lady. She's 101. I went and I publicized it, whatever, because she's a dear lady to me, and I was born on her birthday. I do not know how long she has to live, but God has blessed her with the gift of life. So I ain't waiting till her birthday come. I ain't waiting till Mother's Day come. I did it there and then. Because I tell you, I love the elderly that knows me well. This young man never grew up with his peers. I grew up with grandparents, and I also been always around elderly people that give me the history of my country, that could tell me, listen, they could remember when Clem Labega and Claude Watty was walking on Front Street. It was only a dirt road. It was a dirt road with donkey filth on it. You know, these are the things that I love. All of us will not be the same. All of us will not love St. Martin the same. But I'm saying, from the time you postulate yourself to say you're going to run for office, your attitude, your behavior is supposed to become solely of one of being a servant. That's important, not for what the perks you can get in here or the kickbacks or whatever. It is solely supposed to be for the people in this country.
I want to jump back to what we discussed earlier when you mentioned England and how they elect the prime minister. Do you feel that the screening process needs to be seriously looked at and amended?
Yes, and it's supposed to be. What I didn't see didn't become a topic of discussion, probably because government fell after 17 days. But it is a topic of discussion, should come on the table to have it either written off or amended. The people voted for a parliament. Parliament is supposed to form a government. Why is third parties deciding? For example, I'm the Minister of Justice. In my screening, there was a part where two entities within justice want to decide that I'm not good for justice. I'm not good for the ministry. I'm going to be your boss tomorrow. So my future employees would have decided who's going to be the minister because they're investigators, etc. No. They should not be in a part of politics. That screening process should not be part of politics, because if one even is how you say a convicted person for whatever and is allowed to run for office and get elected and remain in parliament, why they can't be a minister? That's what I'm telling you. People who are convicted for fraud and those things were parliamentarians. So if the people can use a democratic right, democracy spoke, and then still it is not being executed later on because of this screening process, then it has to go. Because then that is not democratic. That is undemocratic.
There were some things being said on the street, and maybe you can clarify it better for us, because some people are saying you as minister had some plans to put ankle bracelets on 2 prisoners at the Point Blanche prison. Is that true, or? That
is not true. I can tell you that's where I talk about corruption within the department. of those who would try to set up a minister.
Okay.
A minister gets letters every single day. Well, for sure, my ministry. There's a letter came in from a law firm for a client, and the client is requesting an ankle bracelet. Okay, I personally read the documentation. I have staff that is assigned who deals with Point Blanche Prison, who deals with the police station, who deals with, the different departments. They come to me, they have to review the document, they will make up whatever memos, they will deal with the department heads, with the respective department heads. However, this particular department head, basically with the client, probably had conversations already with the client, and of course with my staff. So my staff drafted up a memo, and they came to me, and I signed the memo, not even reading the memo, because I think everyone is competent to do their job. So they send a memo. You send the memo up to the Point Blanche Prison, to the director. The director then tell them, mind, the initiative of that memo apparently came from the director. Okay? I do not know if it was to mess me up, but then what they did, the memo was signed, sent up, and then later on, the director, he was supposed to leave, and my staff tell me, yes, you need to speak to the director because now they are hearing something else. We had a meeting with the director. He said, listen, this is not how it has to go. You have to contact the prosecutor's office. You have to contact the probation office, SCAES, etc., etc. So basically, at that time, it was the following day, that memo is basically null and void. But what that director did, he took that same memo and send it across to the prosecutor's office in order to defame or mess up the minister.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
This is the type of things that ministers have to be so very careful, because you come in with a good heart. You come in doing your work for the people, but because of who the particular individual was, they use it to blow it up. You understand what I'm saying? So when the prosecutor office called me, not the prosecutor's office, the RST called me and tell me, listen, we have an investigation against you for the misuse of power. I was like, what? In 2 months? 2 months in office? 17 years working for this organization. Y'all never had an investigation on me or nothing. But all of a sudden, no, it is to show you how corruption is real. And as Minister of Justice, my job was to root all of them out. And I understand the situation because there's a lot of funny business going on in certain departments, especially the Point Blanche Prison. Who is sleeping with who's sleeping with who's part of the management team messing with who. So therefore, when an individual got severely beaten in the Point Blanche Prison, and I learned it outside from the press. Hey, Minister, a gentleman was severely beaten, and however...
So you were never informed?
I was never informed by the director. And when I contacted the director, he told me the person fell ill. I got information that the person was at a hospital. I went to the hospital and the person told me that they were ambushed by 2 unknown assailants masked and dressed in prison uniform.
Wow.
This is and I can tell you the officers there told me in 35 years of their service, they have never seen a minister come to the hospital to visit any inmate that got beaten up. Now, when I am doing my job and telling the director to find a solution to deal with this problem, and I need a report on the incident, Mr. Gibbs, it took me more than 3 weeks to receive a simple report as to who was working that day and what transpired. Because as a police officer, once an incident happened,
right,
you have to make a report within 24 hours or 2 times 24 hours. So then it made me start to think, somebody hiding something. When the director is not there, the adjunct who is there is so communicative, calls me on every single issue that's going on in the prison. So then it made me start to think, but is it me or the person does not know how to manage? Or is it just me? Because, I became the boss of many officers that were my boss of my senior. And a lot of people can't swallow that. They cannot swallow it, but that's not my problem. It's not my fault that you ran on a list before too and you never got elected. It's not my fault that you ran on a list before and you were never appointed. That's not my problem. But once we come to work, whether you like me or not, or I like you or not, because I like everybody. I like every single body. People that have this way, oh, my spirit don't take you. When it comes to people's business, ain't nothing but no spirit in here. It's about we come here to work for St. Martin, whether the levels that we are on. Because today I'm a minister, tomorrow I might have to go back on patrol.
You had to deal with the main man at the police station.
Oh, Mr. John?
Yeah, how's that?
Oh, no, you don't follow me on Facebook. You know, a lot of people...
He's a good guy.
He is a good guy.
I won't use the word nice because nice is...
He is a policeman. Okay? He is a policeman. And I'm going to look straight into the camera. If I had the opportunity, Mr. John would be appointed as Minister of Justice. Do you know why? Because the professionalism is real. That is what, like again, I said, I don't have to like Mr. John and he don't have to like me. But when we work together, out of all department heads, Mr. John was the most person that contacts me, keeps me up to date, let me know what's going on. Minister needs to see you or I need to see him. And we could have sat and talked.
He's very professional.
Very, very professional. I cannot go in there with the arguments or whatever issue me and Mr. John had over the years. That has nothing to do with the people. He is a servant to the country, and I'm also a servant to the country. So whatever it is we had or dealt with before as an employee and a department head, that has nothing to do with managing and running a ministry. And he, as an advisor to the minister, did a wonderful job.
Would you say that your experience as Minister of Justice and as a police officer is going to help you in Parliament?
Yes, of course.
And the reason why I asked that question is that, for example, immigration. I heard some remarks from someone about the behavior of immigration officers. Most of them are very good, but they always, you find one or two here that's a problem. I mean, I made a joke that when I go away and I came back to St. Martin on many occasions, I go through a much more vigorous process than when I land at Schiphol. I'm coming home. I should be
welcome.
I don't want no red carpet, but it shouldn't be a whole long process. And I think the reason why what I'm getting to is here, sometimes American visitors come to the island, and I heard of this story where one said, asked a question, and the officer said, "Good morning. Look, you're an immigration officer. I'm a visitor coming to the island. I don't have to say good morning or good evening to you. You should greet me first and say good morning, say hello, thank you, welcome to the country. May I have your passport, please, or whatever documents. Don't insist that they got to tell you good morning or good evening first. I have an issue with that."
Well, Mr. Gibbs, I must say I've been an immigration officer. That's where I started in 2007. And why I love the job is because I know I'm an ambassador of my country. I'm very patriotic. I love St. Martin. I have traveled the world. I have lived in different countries. But when, for some reason, St. Martin always called me back home and put me in positions where you have to deal with people as clients. So I worked at the airport before, I worked customer service, I work at the business class lounge where you have to give the people a particular service. It's not that you don't want a red carpet type of treatment. You are supposed to get a red carpet type of treatment. No one could have never said, when I worked as an immigration officer, I haven't given them the service that they needed because that was in me. Now, there are trainings. Some people, again, don't like people. And they end up taking jobs where you have to give customer service. So there's also trainings that we got in Curacao, Promises of Justice, which also teaches you how to deal with a client. We also get something called persoonlijk effectiviteit, persoonlijk effectiveness or efficiency.
I'm aware of it. You know why I think I'm aware of it? Because back in the 80s, I gave classes to the immigration officer along with Attorney Richard Gibson. So I'm very aware of it. Why I brought that up is because most of them are pretty professional.
We need to bring
You only need one to mess up the whole bunch. And that's the example I gave you of that one that the person didn't say good morning, but you as an immigration officer, you should say good morning.
Welcome the people to
Exactly,
St. Martin. That is when I say an ambassador to the country, because you are one of the first persons that a tourist see or a local person see. And that's why I would say always treat everyone with respect. Always give them that pleasantness when you ask, because at the end of the day, the people come here to spend money. That simple behavior can allow that person to go right round to the counter and say, I want to go back home. St. Martin is basically a country that lived off of tourism. Okay, that is our pillar. So therefore, yes, if immigration officers are watching, this is your former immigration colleague as well, who believes in giving the best professional service to incomers, to the in-owners. Do you just have to treat the people them right? Because again, no matter what you go through, that is your bread and butter.
But you know what I noticed too? And this is my experience, I arrive back home to St. Martin, and if that immigration officer is a person who likes me, no problem. Now, if it's a person who doesn't like me for whatever reason, because I'm doing these shows and something you mash people by just saying the wrong thing, then you could see it right away, And that's what I'm saying. You got to be professional. You got to put aside, and I noticed you said it before, you got to put aside your differences, go to work and just do your job.
Mr. Gibbs, do you know how much negative publicity I got?
For what?
The former minister, for example, bashed me on every radio station every time she got. Andrew Dick, for example. For example, Andrew Dick, he would make all kind of funny memes and all kind of stuff against me. Or Mr. Onde Marlin would mash me up in Parliament. And he also told me, he said, one thing I must say, Minister, you are a professional. Onde Marlin told me this. He said, you are a professional. He said, man, I could do you what I want in Parliament. He's saying, you never one time discard me, or if I need help for my child or I need help for anything, I'll contact you. You still go out there and you do it. I said, because I'm a professional. This is politics. I understand. I have seen it. It happened with other politicians before. I have never answered. I remain silent because I have time to work. I don't have time. Do you know, every time somebody write an article about you in a negative light and you have to go, it's time consuming.
Yeah, it's best to leave it both.
Just leave it and you just continue working for your country. You don't work, you work. I work for opposition. That's my job as minister. I work for the opposition. Whatever they need personally from the ministry, they get.
I gotta ask you, a lot of people been asking about this, the case with Mr. Olivier Arundel, partner that was shot and killed before election. Is there anything going on there? Because some people feel like there's no urgency or whatever to solve that case.
No. Listen, I am responsible for policy and responsible for the overall upkeep of the ministry. The PG, the Attorney General, he is responsible with the OM, is responsible for, in Dutch you call it de rechtshandhaving van de rechtsorde, de strafvordering, the penal code and the penal code procedure. The minister does not fall within that framework. And like I tell everyone, let justice, have its course. The police are working, doing their due diligence on all investigations that they have. We do have a capacity issue. They do have someone arrested on the French side in relevance to the case.
How that person was released?
I do not know if they were released. However, the work has to continue. But on my purview, no, I do not meddle in investigations.
Do the prosecutors consult with you on any equation at all?
No. Only for particular things. If, especially you're talking about the ankle bracelet. You know, when I learned that we have 25, but only 2 people on ankle bracelet, and
25,
it's also
25 ankle bracelets.
25 ankle bracelet, but only 2 people were on one.
Oh.
And then there was also a case, and like I said, they don't mention these things, but someone was on an ankle bracelet, and they cut it off, and they couldn't find them. And then the minister now is responsible. Now I'm the one responsible to give the okay, as minister, for them to go and retrieve that person and revoke their conditional dismissal.
And the buck stopped at you.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So they would like you to consult with everybody when somebody has a request for something, but at the end of the day, it is still at the minister's purview. So there's a lot of things that now that I know how it works in Parliament, I want to make it better.
Did Olivier Arundel contact you since this last election?
Well, I did saw a message from him where I think he tried calling me, and then later on when I saw the phone, he sent a message congratulating me. But the gentleman, you cannot. I'm happy that he congratulated me. When his wife passed, I also, publicly mentioned my condolences. But I want to choose my words carefully. He misconstrued information, so I might just send a voice note and say thank you or say something, and then all of a sudden there's extra voice notes and no. So I rather just not communicate at all. He not only bashed me as a politician, but he went as far as mentioning my child in his videos and being pregnant, etc. Because I'm a grandfather, and I'm a proud grandfather at the age of 37. My mother was a grandmother at the age of 37 as well. So I do not know what he think he was getting out of it by doing that, but that's a total disrespect. That's a level that I will cut you off.
No,
you do not touch my children. I have 5 children, and I am the protector of those children. So when you cross, not my family. Say what you want about Lyndon Lewis. Do not mess with my children. But he did reach out. He did congratulate me for being elected.
What is surprised you most in this whole thing, because you're only 37 years old, you achieve a lot in a very short period of time. What is the single most surprising thing to you?
Nothing surprised me.
I like how you
Nothing surprised me. My staff always tell me, but Minister, all during election, but you're barely campaigning. I said, if I'm supposed to be elected, I will be elected.
Is it true that you didn't spend $1?
Not $1. And when I say $1, I promoted myself.
Okay. But I mean, you didn't buy a vote then?
No. I didn't. That's I'll tell him $0. So it is, no, and I was shocked with those 400 and something votes, because a lot of people keep saying, the people out there, there's people who ask me for money, and they actually needed it. Why? I can tell you, like every year around July, August, I just help mothers again for uniforms and those things. And I couldn't do it this year because of elections. I tell them, listen, because some people just, I like Lyndon because Lyndon does help me out. Just a simple thing. He helped me out, and he helped me buy my children school shoes and uniform. That would be misconstrued that he buying votes.
Yeah.
So this was the only year I couldn't do it. But guess what? After elections was done, whatever little change I have in my pocket from my hard working money, I help and do what I gotta do. But before elections, it was not happening.
Well, other time I went over my time, but I think it was important to cover.
Thank you.
With you, I want to wish you much success and your family. And anything you want to add in closing?
Well, I'm here to work for the people of this country, and I will continue working for you in any capacity. Do not feel bad. I have received your messages. I have spoken to many of you. This is not a setback. You will see the work in Parliament that I will do for this country.
Again, thank you and much success. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Gibbs.
And that's it for now. And speaking of everything, on YouTube, Facebook, and on Hot 99.9 FM radio. See you next time. Take care. Bye.